Hello and welcome to the Weekender. In this week's show, we talk Gundam hype, an awesome saga collection, and you'll learn more about Stormtroopers than you ever needed to. Plus, we have a £50 voucher to give away thanks to Wayland Games. Just comment on YouTube or on Tabletop for a chance of winning that. Without further ado, let's dive in. The weekend starts here. All right, folks, and welcome to the Weekender. This week, I am joined by a very excitable Lloyd.
Hello.
And John is also with me for this week's show. We have lots and lots to dive into. Some very, very fun stuff on the horizon. A wonderful indie of the week. Don't worry. It's not going anywhere. It's still here. It's here every week. It's great. Fantastic. And also some 3D printing awesomeness as well. And plenty of news. How you guys been? Had a good week? Yeah?
Not bad. Not bad. It's all right. Yeah. Pretty good.
Fantastic.
Well, it was good until I realized there was going to be a Barons War 2nd edition. And I was like, what? Because I just got my Barons War rule books like a month ago. And I was like, out of date already.
Well,
I even got the death and taxes for it. And I think that's not out of date, maybe. I suppose.
You could
actually,
say, are they death and taxing you? Is that what
I guess this might still work.
I suppose it will. It depends how much they're going to be changing in the new edition, I suppose.
I mean, half of us are going to be dead by the time Lloyd plays a game of it, so.
That's a good point.
That is very true. That is very true.
I don't know why you're getting caught up with rule books.
Yeah. And John, you've been tasked with something which we will talk about on the XLBS over the weekend. Yeah, but it's very big and it's very World War II focused, so watch out for that.
Very big and very long.
Yes. Or yum yum.
You wish.
Story of my life.
Without further ado, then, let's get stuck into some news.
Coming to you from the center of Northwestern Europe. Covering board games, war games, card games, and all that you love. It's the news.
So, starting things off for the news, we had a little bit of extra details about Gundam Assemble and also the Gundam card game coming out of the folks at Bandai. Now, this is both making John very happy, but also very sad, I suppose, at the same time, I guess.
Little sad.
To give a kind of overview before I unleash John, the Gundam Assemble miniatures game isn't going to be coming out until 2026 now.
What?
As you can see. I know. We thought this was going to be the year of Gundam. But,
can't they just release the miniatures now and then release the rules in 2026 as people have got all their stuff painted and ready?
Funny you should say that.
Yeah. John, if you want to dive in and tell us all about this one. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, although we're not getting the actual miniatures game until next year, we are, however, getting the collectible card game or the trading card game this year. And that's going to be out in July.
Yes.
But the miniatures are going to be available with those sets. So the sets have particular names. Shall I open these in a new tab? Sure.
What? Is this common sense for the win?
Yes, it is common sense.
Yeah. So there are 4 sets that are going to be coming. We have Heroic Beginnings, Wings of Advance, Zeon's Rush, and Seed Strike. So each of those sets is a starter deck for the game, for the card game, as well as some miniatures. So there is going to be 3 miniatures with each of these sets, and they are all particularly well themed. I remember the speculation we did a while ago of what miniatures were going to be in each of these sets, and we are now actually able to see. However, there is one small caveat with that. People that are waiting for the actual miniatures game. The miniatures game models have been photographed on hex bases, and these ones for the card game have been photographed on round bases. So there may be rules in the miniatures game for hex bases.
They got big chunky feet. You just stick magnets on them and then put like a little magnet. If you put like a sheet of magnetic, that magnetic sheet down on the base, and then you like put some base material over that, and then you put magnets in your feet, you probably could stick them on there and then repose them. If you
Very true. Yeah.
Possibly,
Yeah.
although the hex spaces I don't think are standard size, sort of like 1.5 inch. I think they're
No, yeah, they seem proprietary, I think.
Yeah.
well, they need to be pretty big. Look at that compared to a card. It's not going to be
Well,
an
yeah,
1.5 inches. It's going to be
true.
a big mama.
so.
Yeah.
Regardless of all that, if you want to learn how to play the card game, you can. I have watched this video; it is terrible.
What? Why is it terrible? Did it not translate well?
It doesn't translate well, and it's easy. Right? Okay, it's easy.
When
to
you say
follow.
it doesn't translate well, is it like all your bases are belong to us and shoot that Gundam with your witch's urine? That sort of stuff.
It's not that bad, but it is anime characters playing the game.
Ah,
okay.
This is the
Right.
typical kind of Bandai / Japanese how to teach your first game. So they'll have two characters.
see.
One is the expert, one's the newbie, and the expert tells you how to play, and then the newbie makes some mistakes, and the expert answers the questions, that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
It's fine. It's just not a very enjoyable watch. That's
so you're
all
saying
right.
it's lame?
little bit. However, so the important thing is we now know what miniatures are coming in
Yeah.
each of these packs. So over here we have, let me see if I can correlate them to the sets. So Heroic Beginnings is going to be our Heroic RX-78.
Scroll in, John.
I
Scroll
can't.
in.
I have to reach to do that. There we
There
go.
we go. Ah.
With the RX-78-2 alongside a gun tank and a gun cannon. The gun cannon is in a
What
bit of
is
a
it
weird
doing to that
pose.
rock?
Yeah. Believe it or not, it's something it does in the show.
We told you Lloyd was excitable today. So.
Yeah. Wings of Advance obviously is Gundam Wing, which I have covered very recently on the channel and on the website
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
2 Leos, both in purple and green, so you know how to paint them now.
Leos.
The humble Leos, along with the big boy, the tall geese, which is the prototype for the other 2. So it's Granddaddy and the kids.
What a honking good Gundam that is.
Yeah. Zeon's Rush is going to be 3 Zaku 2s by the looks of it. Yeah, 3 Zaku 2s. So we've got the Commander Zaku, which is the one with the little antenna on the top of his head, one with its heat hawk or axe out, and one doing a superhero landing with a bazooka.
Love it.
Because
Very
why not?
cool.
And
Yeah.
then Strike is from Strike Freedom, is the series / movie. I don't know any of these because I haven't watched any of that, but I know it's okay.
They've got super cool swords though. I
They
like
have.
those ones.
It's
Yeah.
Seed's one of those ones where like the weapons are like Final Fantasy levels of ridiculous.
Right.
So,
Okay. Big swords.
Yeah. So that's where we're at with this, and that's what we know. However, if you are interested in picking up the card game, Wayland has it all up on pre-order.
Yes, it does.
We have the new Type Rising booster box. That's an
Big
entire
booster box with all the
box,
cards.
an entire
Mhm.
box of little booster packs. That's
Mhm.
why that's a lot more than the actual decks are. So all the decks are coming in at around £31, £32 UK,
Which is pretty awesome.
which will be available for release in July.
Let me see if I understand this though. Miniatures come with the card game, or the
Yes.
card game's separate.
The card game comes with the miniatures.
Okay, and then what do the miniatures do in the card game
Don't know.
if it's a card game?
Seemingly nothing. They are simply there just to look nice.
They're decoration. We think they're decoration.
So
Yeah.
I can just let them go pew pew pew.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which
Well,
in your eye
they'll fit the what seems like the iconic Gundams in the card game. So
Yep.
for each of
Yeah.
the sets, they'll fit the particular one, so you can put it down on top of the particular.
Yeah, well, I
character.
get that.
So,
I get it's matched to the card. I'm just
Yeah.
like, what do you do with it?
Just look at it and make it pretty.
Mm.
And as we were saying, because obviously these are the miniatures that are going to be in Gundam Assemble, you can start, a year in advance or whatever.
Well, I think
start
that's the
working out how
best
you're gonna
aspect.
paint them. Yeah. And they're the new proper like Wargame kit style ones, as
Yeah.
we've seen in the past when we covered Gundam Assemble. So it's going to be really fascinating seeing if this is enough of a bridge to get people excited for Gundam if they haven't
Well-
necessarily played with it before. So
What kind of minis are they then? Is literally they come out in that static pose there? That's
They're
they're built to be in those
Yeah.
poses.
Yes.
they're plastic single pose push fit
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
from what I've seen.
And you just paint them up. Yeah.
I know they were giving out some.
Thank
of them.
goodness for that. Takes away decision making.
They were giving out some of them to influencers and stuff at a show in the States recently, because there was a couple of guys had on their channels like pictures of them actually painting them up. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
I would imagine we're probably going to hear a little bit more about it at the likes of UKG and stuff like that. It'd be interesting to see if they pop up there and show off maybe a little bit more about the game and things. But yeah, still a year out for actual Gundam Assemble, but this is at least a nice stopgap, I reckon, for a lot of people. Yeah. And as people in the comments said, hey, I get a bonus card game with my miniatures. so that's pretty cool. So that's pretty good indeed.
All seems pretty reasonable to me, that's for sure.
It does. Yeah. Very, very reasonably priced. Very good. In line with the US as well, which is a God save. There you go. But yes, moving on from Gundam Assemble and that sad but happy John, we have something for epic fantasy fans from the folks at Wargames Atlantic. They are going to be releasing their classic fantasy battles range this weekend, starting off with the Horde. So this follows in the footsteps of their 10mm samurai stuff that they've been doing over the last little while. You have probably seen some unboxings that Jerry's been doing of the Ashigaru and the samurai and everything else. Have the commanders up soon as well.
Yeah, forget all that. We got orcs now.
Who cares about samurai when you've got orcs? Yeah. So this is all in sort of packaged together to serve the new game that's being done by Andy Hobday. But of course, you could use these for a variety of other games like Midgard Heroic Battles or Warmaster, and pretty much everything else in between. There are a whole bunch of sprues in the box that will allow you to make in total 252 figures across the set. So that covers the likes of bowmen, spearmen, swordsmen, both light and heavy, alongside axemen, as you can see there. Use them as halberds if you wanted instead. Warg riders, a whole bunch of command figures, and
is
also
it just this one sprue repeated?
It's that one sprue repeated over and over again. But as you can see, they've done what they did with the samurai set, and they've split it down into 5 and 3 strips alongside 2 and single piece as well. So you can make some really interesting bases of miniatures up using that, which I think is a really nice.
Do they give you bases?
I can't remember actually. I don't think they do. I can't remember if they are actually including bases, because obviously a lot of games at this scale are kind of base agnostic. They kind of decide based on
so is the box
measurements and stuff. So that's going to be for you to pick up this weekend. And
can we ambigulate that?
We can try and ambigulate.
I want to see the art.
It's very Tolkien-esque art. It's very Angus MacBride, if anybody remembers that. And that has also filtered through into the description, shall we say, for these and how they fit into the classic fantasy battles world.
Which I like.
Some kind of dark lord. So yeah.
I like the fact that it's got that old school fantasy.
Yes.
Similar to what what's the range from Andy Hobday's coming out, and it's all old school looking.
The Fantasy Skirmish
one,
yes, that he did.
Warhost. It now has
Warhost, that's based on the Baron's War rules, yeah.
It's funny that they'd be releasing that now, because this week I was watching a video from Little Wars TV about Warmaster.
And
basically the conclusion it's a good video. Basically the conclusion I got was there wasn't enough old people in the hobby way back when Warmaster came out to make it super popular. But now most of us have gone crusty enough though that we like tiny wee men's.
tiny wee men.
And don't get too distracted by the 28 mils, because that was it. The conclusion of the video, as far as I could tell, was kids like the big ones, not the wee ones. Old guys like the wee ones. Okay with big ones. But now there's a lot more old guys. We all like a lot more wee ones.
There you go.
Yeah. So they're releasing that just at the time we're all getting old enough to appreciate it.
I don't understand that. Like, what's the appeal of the older audience and smaller models? Because they're a harder thing to paint.
Because we look at
caring.
No, because we like our wargaming. We don't care if our wargaming is a little bit more abstract as we get older, I think.
Yeah, big scenic things rather than.
It doesn't have to be literally action figures anymore.
I get
very true.
You know, when you're a kid, action figures is all the way to go. My mate Noel, he was into Mantiforce, and it was tiny, and I wasn't into it. I thought that's crap. That's tiny little man, but he loved it.
I don't even know what Mantiforce is.
He's like an old man when he was 9.
Is it like Micro Machines? Is it?
It's like it's like a blue army versus a red army, and they had massive motherships. It was kind of cool, but very small.
Okay.
Anyway,
you can go and search that on the internet.
My point is, I think this, the 10 mil, 8 mil sort of range, and 13.5 mil. We've seen a lot of this very small stuff coming out recently.
Yes, we have, yeah.
Even the likes of Armored Clash. So it's like the market has matured to the point where we'll accept little tiny fighting.
That's very true. I think that's very true. And because people like Wargames Atlantic are doing it in plastic as well now, it's a lot more viable for a lot of people. You can buy big armies for pretty much nothing. I mean, one of those box sets is essentially going to give you, I would imagine, a starter army for using Classic Fantasy Battles when it eventually comes out. So we'll have to wait and see.
Is that what they're releasing? What are they releasing?
Classic Fantasy Battles is their rule set, yeah. But by Andy, who has obviously done the Baron's War and stuff that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So.
What are people going to do with them in the meantime? Are they going to play like 10 mil?
Play Midgard Heroic Battles or Kings of War.
Yeah, Midgard.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Games out there.
Play Old World on a really big scale.
Play Old World on a big scale, yeah.
Play War Master, for goodness sakes.
I'll just play War Master. I have the rulebook behind me.
What is it? Is it War Master Reborn or something like that? There's some sort of community thing they talked about in Little Wars TV, and I was like, ooh, that's interesting. They've kept it going.
There's a big digital like living rulebook, I think, online.
But there's a guy in the video who's like, oh, I don't think Games Workshop's interested in really coming back and giving us any crap about using their IP. And I was thinking, wait and see. Wait and see.
I don't think you understand who Games Workshop are.
You underestimate their power.
Yeah. They're going to come one day, cease and desist all that crap. We're taking our IP back. It's going to be amazeballs without you.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
It is going to happen.
Because if they see like a market opening up with like Wargames Atlantic moving in with 10 mil stuff and Armory Clash and
They'll
stuff,
jump on it.
I mean, they've got their own. They've moved their own range back into the smaller scale.
Legions Imperialis, obviously, very small. So, yeah.
Yeah, but they shot themselves in the foot by making it only Horus Heresy.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, so far, I mean, they could just release 40k. Tiny.
It depends how well 40k sales go over the next 5 years, whether they do it or not.
I
think
they should employ me and I'll come up with it. Tiny K is what I'll call it.
Tiny K.
There you go. That's for Free Games Workshop.
There you go.
No, it's not. You already have that trademark. You've been trying on that for months.
Write yourself an email with that in, so make sure you've got that sorted. So moving from the world of 10 mil and fantasy to a little bit of historical stuff. So we've done sci-fi, we've done fantasy, we're now in historical. Micro Art Studio are releasing a brand new set of pre-painted, I like to call it pre-colored, terrain for their World War II collection in 28 mil. This current set is called the Ostfront Village, and it breaks down into a variety of different buildings, be it houses, shops, there's a full church, workshops, stores, walls, and everything else like that, for building up essentially the other side of the conflict in Europe during World War II. So they previously did their Normandy set, which is absolutely fantastic, and this takes things to the Eastern Front. So if you're looking to play out the scraps between the Germans and the Soviets in Eastern Poland, in Belarus, Ukraine and Russia and things like that, this is an excellent set for you to dive into and pick up and play around with. As I said at the beginning, these are all pre-colored, so they come with a UV treated print on them essentially. So you just pop them out of the frames, get them stuck together, and away you go. Maybe break out a Sharpie and do some work on the edges if you really want to, but I don't think you need to necessarily with these, because I think they all fit in quite nicely, especially when you see them on the tabletop like that. All of the buildings, as you'll have seen in some of the pictures, have detailed interiors as well. So it's not just the outside that features that coloured look. You can also fight around inside if you want to play some skirmish games that are a little bit more focused.
Does that dome come that goldy looking? That looks very goldy.
It does. It's a very.
Don't you have that open in the other tab, John? Look at the church in the other tab you opened.
Look at my shiny chair.
Oh, it didn't get opened.
No, it didn't get opened. I skipped it.
I was hoping it might show more of the. Oh, it's just that again. Okay, well. Goldie.
Yeah,
do you know what I wish they'd release though? Is little stickers that go along with it, just for the roof, just so you can cover those tile bits.
Oh, just these bits.
Oh, right, those bits.
Just those bits.
Yeah.
I don't mind the edges and stuff. It's just those bits that very much they just interrupt the texture.
I see what you mean. But as a follow-on to their Normandy set, I think this is a really nice selection of terrain pieces that they've designed for use in World War II. Obviously great for people who want to quickly make tables up. Obviously costs a little bit more compared to like standard MDF terrain and stuff.
Show us the table shot, but zoom out, John, so we can see it all at once.
I can't zoom it out.
No, you can't?
Or can I? Oh, it's because I zoomed in earlier, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. There you go. Look at that.
Unzoom in and unhance. But yeah, really nice section there, especially with the wall sections. I think it's really going to be really good for building up tables. You just need a bunch of trees, and essentially you're good to go from that point in reality. All of the buildings can be picked up individually. So if you want to go over to the MicroArt web store, you can just go and grab each of the buildings as you see fit. If you only need a couple of them maybe to complete a table, but if you want to get the bundle, you can just grab everything, as you can see there, and it'll give you everything you need to start building up a table. Probably around like 3 foot, 4 foot. It would be nice and cluttered. But if you wanted to go a little bit bigger with a 6x4, obviously gives you a little bit more space to play around with. Run some more tanks around.
What is the total cost? Where is it?
There you go, €370. So yeah. But for an entire
table, it's a bit pricey, but yeah, it is a complete table, and it's the sort of thing you could probably have all that built in like just a weekend.
And you're not going to need to do anything to it once you have it done.
Yep.
There's no staring at it going, oh, I need to paint that.
Yeah, very true. And the added benefit of this stuff, and I think the Normandy stuff as well, is that I think it works quite nicely from World War One and World War II onwards through into the modern day, because there's still a lot of Europe that looks a lot like it did back then in the early 20th century. So you've got plenty of things to be using that for if you so desire. But yeah, some really great stuff there from MicroArt Studio. We will be back to talk a little bit more about some more news in a minute, but we're going to be diving into the best part of the week, as Jerry would say, and that is the Indie of the Week. So, the Indie of the Week for this week's show is one that we have looked at in the past, but I wanted to revisit it because they have exploded with the stuff they have in terms of options.
It's so good, we're showing it twice.
We're showing it twice. I was going to make a very rude joke then, but I'm not going to do that. And this is the folks at Stronghold Terrain. So this is a company that's over in Germany, and they have a whole bunch of stuff in here that you can grab if you're over in the EU, although of course you can ship it out if you so desire as well. Their main focus is on a lot of stuff that is pretty damn good for Saga.
Right, go there.
So if you go over to this, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff that they've done for this. So they have a mixture of different things that you can dive into and pick up that will cover, obviously, historical wargaming, if you're diving into Saga that way, but also a bunch of stuff that would cover Saga Age of Magic.
Stop clicking stuff that's not Saga, John. What the?
He's not Saga.
That guy's not Saga. Heavy metal dude.
He could be.
Weird Saga, that.
So I was first drawn to this because of their barbarian stuff. You'll find a little bit more about why I'm excited about this on Sunday, and also if you watched last week's show as well. But they tend to grab a bunch of sculptors from across the spectrum. So you've got a whole bunch of stuff here by Kev White, if you know Hassle Free and things like that, as well as a whole bunch of other sculptors, both over in Europe.
This is a whole bunch of horny miniatures. This isn't Saga.
It is Saga. Look, it says Saga Collectibles. It's Saga Age of Magic, or Saga with a little bit of magic. Or Saga with a lot of boobs.
So, nighttime Saga, maybe.
Saga After
Saga
Dark.
Nights.
Saga Nights.
I have to be careful of which ones I open here.
TM that as well, Lloyd. So you've got that. But this was this was a really great little section of stuff because I was looking at
she's
project.
naked.
Yeah, Skyclad, I think you'll find. I was looking at a whole bunch of stuff that one of our community members did last week, where they'd done like a cool Red Sonja style diorama, and this was where they actually got the miniatures from. It was sculpted by Kev White, but it came out through this Stronghold Terrain collection, and they do some really nice dynamic barbarians, as you can see here, that would obviously fit into something Conan-esque, as you can see. Which is
it's well seen this is coming out of Germany. You whiz, they do some amazing things for trains too.
They do.
Lots of hot action on benches.
We have seen your holiday snaps. But obviously, you know, drop these into your games, use them as your heroes for Saga Age of Magic.
Wow, there's a whole face on that.
Yeah,
it's a whole bear.
Yeah, it's a whole bear. You could also use them for role-playing games as well. So if you're building characters that you want to use in various games, you've got plenty of options there at the same time too. And a lot of people have been sort of, you know, vibing with the idea of classic sword and sorcery stuff over the last couple of months anyway. So it's nice to have a good collection of them for you to pick up from the folks at Stronghold. As I say, a bevy of stuff when it comes to the barbarians and things like that.
What's he got? Like a wolf exoskeleton?
Yeah. Wolverine on the outside rather than the inside.
Okay.
But yeah, so as well as that, they also have historical bits and pieces as well. So if you scroll down to some of the stuff we've got below, so the Vikings and things.
I like the fact you closed some of the tabs you opened, didn't even go near them. You have second thoughts there, huh?
So if you open up the famous Vikings one and the Shield Maidens one, there's some really great stuff there, John. Top of the page.
That one, yeah.
Yeah.
And
the next one's left. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So if you're a fan of...
Finally, some proper saga. Here we go.
So if you're a fan of the likes of Vikings, or Vikings Valhalla and all that kind of stuff, there's a whole bunch of classic Viking characters.
The big coloured one, John.
I'm accepting this.
Accept the cookies.
Accept the cookies. Pond Dancer will call me.
There's loads of great characters in there as well. They come, as you can see, some of them with their big Saga Warlord bases, as is traditional. But there's a variety of different characters in there that should help you tell the tales of Ragnar Lothbrok and stuff on the tabletop, which I think is quite nice. And they delved a lot deeper into it as they start to create characters from later in the series as well. So you've got things like Ivar the Boneless in there as well, which is really cool, and Svitzik and Uber as well, which is quite nice.
Bloody Ivar sitting on his butt as usual. Lazy wee sod.
And then sneaking after you to stab you in the bum. Yeah. But a lot of characters that will help you essentially tell the entire saga from beginning to end when it comes to Vikings there, if that was a TV show that you enjoyed. If you prefer to build like a big old shield maiden army, then they also have a huge variety of options for you on that front as well. A couple of their hero models have come from the likes of Brother Vinny and stuff, so if you like what they've done for the historical sphere and stuff, you've got some really nice choices on that front.
Come on, John, ambigulate some.
John's browsing.
I'm shopping. You're here to show off.
I'm here to shop. Always here to shop.
But plenty of characters that will obviously allow you to dive into the idea of playing like big fantasy style games as well as playing the historical stuff, because plenty of shield maidens did exist in real life, and you can take it in all sorts of different ways if you see fit to do so. But yeah, so lots of Vikings for you to check out across the collection there, which is always nice to see. I really liked that they added in characters like Astrid and
get Torvi. Get Torvi big.
Cool. Torvi's cool. I like Torvi. Yeah.
Where did you go?
What is this?
What did you do?
Just click.
What is doing?
Click Torvi.
What is doing?
What is doing?
There we go.
Click Torvi again with the magnifying glass.
Oh, for the love of God.
No, the magnifying glass. Press the magnifying glass, John.
See, Lloyd's doing
the
his
same
shopping.
size.
Have you never seen an Indie of the Week, Lloyd? This is how it goes.
Sometimes they get smaller.
Sometimes they get smaller. But yeah, so some really nice figures in there that I think will be really fun for collectors who just want to add personality to their forces. You obviously don't need to use these as warlords in your games of Saga anyway. You could just slip them in amongst the rest of your troops on the tabletop, using them as your Hearthguard and all that kind of thing as well. And that would all work very, very nicely indeed.
She has an owl.
She has an owl. Yeah, she's very wise. Queen Janna, pretty hair. Oh, very nice.
I'm getting Danny DeVito vibes from that owl.
Danny DeVito vibes from the owl.
I just am. I don't know why.
What? Okay. It's always sunny in Oslo. Yes. Yeah. But yes, very good. If you go back to the collectibles page as a general one,
it's not making it any better, that angle.
No, it's not. Go next one across. There we go. And scroll down. They've also covered a whole bunch of other different periods as well. So if you're somebody who wants to explore Saga, but maybe through one of the supplements or something like that, you could grab yourself Leonidas.
I was just going, looking at Leonidas there. Look at that 6-pack on him.
I know.
Movie edition, the fact that
there's the movie edition and the regular Spartan King edition as well, which I thought was good. So
I only care about this one.
The one with the CG abs.
Yeah, that's the one that you have to oil every time you play him on the tabletop.
Yeah. So. Gloss varnish every
Gloss
time.
Varnish everything, yeah. Very cool, though. I like it, especially with the... I love that he's alongside actual historical
Spartans.
He stands
out so badly against the historical ones.
Why is the commander not wearing any armor?
Why is he naked?
It. Yeah.
Why is he naked and Scottish?
Yeah. He's naked because he's Scottish. Yeah. But I think the historical version of him is also pretty cool. It's a really nice model.
Yeah, it's fine
as well. Yeah. But yes, loads of stuff for the kind of age of Arthur as well. I'm a big fan of these. If you want to open up some of these ones, John. So like Lancelot and Tristan, Bors and Galahad and all this kind of thing. If you're playing, is it Age of Attius? Is that or Age of Arthur, did they call it eventually for Saga? There was, anyway, that supplement effectively for that. You've got some options for you to choose from there. Again, a little bit more movie version, I suppose you'd say. So if you wanted to have them alongside the likes of King Arthur and what was his name? Something Owen. What's it? Oh.
All I know is that
Uncle Owen.
Uncle Owen. Yeah.
All I know is that Bors here definitely didn't get killed by the rabbit.
Yeah. Clive Owen. If you wanted to have stuff that was akin to the Clive Owen version of King Arthur with Keira Knightley and stuff, then you've got some options there as well, which I think is quite nice. So some good stuff for you to throw in for that version of Saga as well. But it's not just Saga.
Did this say Numidian? Ooh.
Yeah, it's like a mercenary badass.
I've got Numidians.
There you go. You should pick him up and add him to your force.
Numidian warrior.
Oh, a Varangian Guard. Wait. We have to click the Varangian Guard before we go.
I was about to leave and look at something else, but okay.
No, I have to click it. With Dainaxis. Now, is it Varangian or Varangian?
Varangian, tomato, I think. So either way works.
Oh,
they're quite nice actually as well. I like those. They'd probably be quite a good fit for some of the plastic Varangians that are coming out as well at the moment. Should be quite good. Oh, they're beautiful shields, Lloyd.
Oh, yeah.
That you'll never paint. Did you buy transfers for your shields in the end, or are you just going to...
Oh, I bought a bunch of transfers for my stuff.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So that's from the Brother Vinny collection. I've just realised as well. So there you go.
So resin.
Yes. So a resin one for those.
Nice.
You pick up and slot into your forces. Go back to the main page. If you scroll back up, John, and open up the... keep going a little bit further, and open up the Stronghold Animals collection for me.
No, not animals.
Yes, animals. Open it up and dive into this one. One thing that I don't think enough people do is creatures to throw into your... Exactly. This is why you should be excited about this. See, you were poo-pooing animals.
I thought it was going to be like monsters and stuff. I didn't realize it's literally going to be animals.
Yeah, it's historical miniatures, Lloyd.
Oh, man. You get some JCBs, we can do far than wood.
You could. Oh, man, that's brought back horrible memory.
That's terrifying.
Oh, God, those poor mice on those barbed wire. Anyway.
What a shame.
For a lot of people, filling out your boards with like creatures and stuff can be a really nice way to kind of like make them feel lived in, especially if you're playing a lot of skirmish games and stuff. And so I thought it was really cool that we had this nice selection of animals that you could just snap up from the folks at Stronghold.
No, these owls are less Danny DeVito looking.
I still don't get it anyway.
You don't need to understand. You just need to stare into
just
the
accept
eye.
it.
Yeah.
I guess, right. So yeah, if you're looking to build up a collection of like really fun sort of like background miniatures to sort of add into the mix, you've got those as well. The bear family is obviously good if you're going to be doing anything, kind of like encounter wise. Maybe you're doing something that's a little bit more story based as a narrative game or something like a skirmish game.
Like the cart.
With Goldilocks in it.
You could go Goldilocks if you really wanted to. Yeah.
Age of Magic.
This is a bit weird because daddy bears don't hang around; they split.
Well, this is a nuclear family, and that's the most important thing. So, yeah. Also, you stole his porridge, so he's out for vengeance, like Liam Neeson. But yeah, so if you're trying to play out,
the thing is, the one with the teeth is the mama.
Well, probably is actually. Yeah.
Well, the one with the dopey smile is the dad.
Yeah, because he's just annoyed her.
Yeah,
he's just purposefully just pushed a button,
prodded her. Yeah,
that's what I'll be doing this weekend. Just push the buttons.
This is terrible.
But yes, if you're interested in story-based scenarios and things like that, that's a really nice collection for you to dive into. And they have like livestock and all that kind of thing as well. So if you wanted to build up a fun set of miniatures for a raid or something, you've got those options there too.
Come on, show us the heavy metal is the law.
Yes, so they also have a variety of kind of bespoke, unique figures as well in their collection, which I think is really nice, that are, as you might have imagined, themed to a little bit of rock and metal and stuff like that. The Kings of Metal set is very cool.
Nobody wants to see that. We want to see Saga Lemmy, for goodness sake.
I don't care. I'm in charge.
Johnny is in charge. That's very true.
You're fine.
Show us the Slammy.
Kill
I keep hitting add to cart.
Oh, he's pointing.
Is he?
Yeah, pointing. Yeah. But a great miniature. And I think this one actually came out when he'd passed away as well, so it was kind of like a commemorative miniature. I thought it was a really nice touch from them. I know, I think it was Warren really liked the Kings of Metal set when it came out. So that one at the top there, John.
Was that a whole set?
It's a whole set of them, the 4 figures, yeah. So if you're looking to build up a proper...
Of course, Warren would like something like that.
Yeah, there's so much muscle on display.
Oh, that's great. You can get them around the Stonehenge as well.
You could. A very small Stonehenge, maybe, as well. But it's a nice little section of stuff that will allow you to play out some fun games if you obviously want to take things in different directions. Heavy metal is the law. So, yeah, very good stuff.
Awesome.
It's essentially designed for you to make a heavy metal diorama showcase vignette thing, really. So,
who's the Prince of Darkness?
I don't know, and it's probably showing my lack of rock knowledge. I mean, that's obviously Kiss, but you know, I have no idea who the others are, to be honest. So.
Look at the arses on there.
They are good buns.
That's enough.
Who is this Prince of Darkness? Click it. We can maybe figure this out.
Is it Aussie?
Oh, is it?
Might be Aussie. Let's zoom in. Oh.
It kind of looks a bit Aussie-like.
It does look a bit like Aussie.
Shouldn't he be biting like a bat or something?
What's on his shoulder on it? It's like a raven.
It's a raven.
A raven, yeah. I'm sure the comments will fully elucidate who this is.
I reckon it's Aussie.
Yeah. If we're going to be watching the premiere and people are like, you guys suck. You don't know anything about this.
Yes, we do. Sorry. Yeah. Not sorry.
If you, I think the last place we'll look is the Dead Man's Hand stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you're excited to try out a little bit of Wild West action on the tabletop, they also have a variety of options for you to choose from there as well. Dead Man's Hand Redux only came out towards like the tail end of last year, so a lot of people have been having fun with that and exploring
that. What the hell's a
fun
nose
games
man?
and stuff.
What is a nose man?
I don't know. I don't understand them.
What's he got? What's he holding?
It is a gun.
Oh, it's a gun.
He's Nose Man, Doc Schneider's opponent. I don't know who Doc Schneider is. Somewhere Jerry's like, you guys know nothing.
You guys picked this week.
That's it. Yeah. Who let these three together? What the?
But there's a lot of like famous characters and things in here from a variety of different westerns, be they spaghetti westerns or anything else in between. So your comic citizens, which I think is a great little touch, especially if you're playing. If you're playing Gunfighter's Ball, they have like a kind of quirky version of that where you play with like big-headed models and stuff, and it's like a much more kind of down-to-earth comic version of the Wild West.
Chibi West.
These would be really, like a Chibi West type thing, and I think these would be a really nice fit to sort of throw into that.
Why
you could have a little bit of fun with that?
Why is the rest of the images all Lloyd shots, and then we only get one group shot from the front?
It's because they were like, "This is what Lloyd really wants."
If you right-click that and go open a new tab, or you may actually get a bigger version of that. Or do that.
Oh, there we go.
And now we're gone.
Oh, we're gone again.
And I thought Jerry was bad at this.
Oh, shut up.
John can.
No, slide down. Don't click. Don't click. There we go.
Yeah. So you can have your own Calamity Jane and all sorts of things thrown into the mix, which is quite good.
Yeah, like Ginger Plonker. You just know he would annoy the crap out of you in the West.
Well, it's all right. In the Wild West, he can be put to work in a mine. So there you go.
He's the problem child of the time.
And then the joke's on him. So
okay.
If you scroll down a little bit, there's some fun stuff that's not necessarily linked to Wild West as well that I really like. Keep going.
Why would it be in this section then?
Because it's pulpy. They have an Indiana Jones or a not Indiana Jones for you to dive into and play around. So there's a couple of versions of him for you to choose from, so you can whip back and forth and have some fun with him. Really nice models, especially if you're going to be playing some 7TV or something. Maybe you could snap those up and add them to your collection. But they've also got his dad as well, which is really nice. So you can chase birds off a beach with an umbrella.
His dad, John. His dad.
Yeah, I know what his dad looks like. It's Who cares?
What?
John's just chopping again. So a whole bunch of different bits and pieces in there for people who want to dive in and enjoy the pulpy side of tabletop gaming, as well as a little bit of Wild West at the same time. So yeah, Stronghold terrain. A whole variety of different things for you to choose from those guys.
What? We didn't even get to muskets and tomahawks.
Do you want to look at musket and tomahawks before we go?
Briefly. Briefly.
Open up muskets and tomahawks as well, John. That's Jesus. Do it from the top bit, not that one, because you'll get lost. That's just the rules. Just go back.
Oh my god.
Open up Stronghold at the top. There we go. Oh no, just hit the plus. Hit
plus,
the plus.
John. Plus.
There we go. And then go to Muskets and Tomahawks collectibles. This site is designed.
Oh.
So you've got a Richard Sharp in there, alongside a whole bunch of other characters that you might know, some Patriots perhaps as well to throw into the mix if you're doing your Black Pounder style adventures.
Sharp and a load of bastards.
Sharp and a load of bastards. It's particularly good for the Sharp obviously is in there because, he's a big character, and so of course you throw him into the mix. But the Muskets and Tomahawk stuff is the really fun bits and pieces there. So if you're doing a lot of the fighting in kind of like North America and sort of Canada and stuff, you've got some really nice bits and pieces to throw in there. Last of the Mohicans characters and all that kind of thing. So you can do all those. You can do all those really fun fights in sort of wintry forests with forts in the middle of nowhere that get cut off because of all the snow and all that kind of thing.
The canoe bundle.
What, Dan? What did Lloyd buy from the indie this week? The canoe bundle.
Look at it.
It is
Click it, John. I think it'll get bigger. Oh, I was right.
There's a bevy of exciting features for us this week. It's great. But yeah, so some really nice bits and pieces in there for those people who are particularly playing Muskets and Tomahawks and want to fight out those engagements between obviously the Native Americans, the Native Canadian peoples as well, alongside the British, the French, and pretty much everybody else who was fighting for control of that region during that time. It's a good selection of stuff for you to choose from on that front. And it's nice to have it being an EU-centric shop as well for a lot of people over in Europe who see a lot of things miniatures-wise and then go, oh, now I can't buy it because I need to pay shipping. So it's good to have a good collection there, drawing from a variety of different sources for you to play all those various games with a big focus on Saga, as we were saying. But yeah, go and check out Stronghold Terrain. There'll be a link down in the show notes. Explore and buy as many things as John has accidentally done. So there we go.
Don't buy too many canoes before I get there.
Yeah, let Lloyd buy the canoes first, and then we'll go. So wait till after the premiere. Yeah. But yes, we're going to dive into a little bit more news.
Even more news, bitches.
So back for a little bit more news, and we're going to be starting off this segment with some stuff coming out of Atomic Mass Games. A little bit of a fun fan favorite alongside a bunch of revamped figures as well. Going to be kicking things off though with the new set for Commander and Padawan Ahsoka Tano. So before she was Fulcrum, before she was in her own show on Disney Plus, she was fighting alongside Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars. And so this is what this set allows you to bring to the tabletop. You got two miniatures in the pack, one that represents the younger Padawan version, and also the other that represents the Commander later on in her career, as she leads the 501st. So this will come with a whole bunch of new rules for you to drop her into your games, use her alongside your clone troops on the tabletop, kick ass and take names. So if you want to actually design up a unit of Stormtroopers with the proper badass Ahsoka Tano style helmets, you'll be able to do that in spades, which is really nice. Alongside that though, we also get in the revamped sets. So there's two, and these take the first ever releases effectively for Star Wars Legion and give them a big new update. So the first of these sets is for the Rebel Troopers. These, by the way, are not the classic plastic sets that they released first off when Star Wars Legion launched. These are proper new multi-part hard plastic sprues. So they are in line with all the rest of the stuff that we've been doing over the last couple of months for Star Wars Legion.
I want to put balls on their wee tentacles. I'm not on the on the end, not at the front.
I guess yes.
So they look like
not like this one.
No, so they look like jesters.
Jesters, yeah. That is such disrespect for the Twi'leks. Jesus. But yeah, so the set is going to come, as you can see for the Rebels there, with a whole bunch of different poses for you to choose from. They're a lot more dynamic than the original ones.
Show them again, John. Show them.
And you get loads of alien heads as well in the set, which is a big bonus because the original Rebel set came with effectively just human heads, and then you had to buy the expansions to get any kind of alien versions, apart from the Juros, so the blue fellow there, which was included in the original pack. But yes, this was obviously going to give you a whole bunch of new options for bringing the Rebels to the tabletop, and in brand new plastic as well, which is a big plus. I assume they're probably going to be doing something more with characters in the future as well, which is nice to see.
Good old Star Wars, where every alien race has a normal foot.
Exactly. Following on from that, we also have the enemies of the Rebels in the form of a new Stormtrooper set as well. So this one follows the same formula. It is a brand new hard plastic kit that allows you to build up your Stormtroopers in a variety of different poses.
It's always good to see the good guys getting a new kit.
Exactly, yeah. Enforcing order on a galactic scale.
That's it.
So, but a variety of different weapon options in there as well. So you've got your standard E11 blasters alongside rocket launchers and all that kind of thing as well. And your commander with the cool shoulder pad, which is nice to see. The
sculpts look a bit sharper than the first ones too.
They do, yeah. Someone's clearly been at this with like a panel liner. Or something.
I didn't realise they had little convenient flaps that could just drop down. I always thought that was a solid bit. I didn't realise it was a little flap.
I think this is, weirdly, as you're saying this, both of you actually, they do look a lot more detailed than you would think a Stormtrooper would look, which is weird. I kind of just see them as like just flat white.
Yeah, they've added extra gribblies here, haven't they?
Gribblies all over the place.
Oh no, Ben, are they too gribbly for you?
Go on and see if you can find a picture of a Stormtrooper's crotch stone to see if we're right here.
Yeah. Google Stormtrooper's crotch.
Talk amongst yourselves a minute, okay?
We can't talk. What?
But I think, in a general sense, it's nice to see that these sets are coming back. I know that Atomic Mass have lots of big plans for Star Wars Legion.
When you say plastic, though, real
like
plastic,
proper hard plastic. Yes, as if you'd expect from like a Games Workshop kit or a Wargames Atlantic kit. Yeah,
because I bought a lot of the Star Wars Legion stuff, and it's such a pain in the butt to demold.
It really is. Yeah. So much so that I just stopped demold lining it.
So much so I just never painted my stuff. I was like,
well, there you go. Yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily going to change anything massively for me because I already have an extensive Rebel collection anyway that I'm probably not going to replace anytime soon. But
do you actually play their rules for it, or do you play other stuff?
I've played Legion 2 or 3 times, and it is good fun. I've not played the new edition of the game, but apparently it's pretty good. I mean, obviously there are plenty of other sci-fi games that you could play. They do have a flappy bit.
There's a flappy bit.
There's a flappy bit.
Yeah.
I always thought it was just one smooth dome.
The more you know.
The Mandela effect.
To be fair, right?
That's it. It probably is the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Oh, it is there too, but
yeah, it is there.
Yeah.
This is definitely Mandela.
They've just really highlighted it in the Legion models.
It's just really hard to see on.
You know, you can make that image bigger there, John.
I could make that. Yeah.
Make that one. I just want to do our research here. Oh yeah. Zoom in a bit on the one of them crotches.
Can I? There we go.
There we go.
Invigorate them. Oh yeah, it's not really a flap though, is it?
No, it's just a molded section. Yeah. Well,
it's probably an extra armor than that particular bit.
Yeah, very true. You know, you're making utilitarian suits for everyone.
You like the Germans up armored their helmets. It's just like an up armored bit, just where it's needed most.
Oh dear. Yeah. Well, there we go. That could be the cover image for this week. Just a big crotch of a Stormtrooper. But yes, new plastic sets coming out for Star Wars Legion, alongside that really awesome new Ahsoka Tano one as well. So if you're a fan of Star Wars Legion, maybe you want to dive into it for the first time, some really good, nice stuff on the way. I'd hope they're probably going to do some more starter sets or something in the future that will bring in some of these new plastic figures alongside heroes and stuff. But we shall have to wait and see.
Moving on from that, we're going to head to the realm of fantasy and some amazing stuff from the folks at Griffin Beast and Ragnarok Miniatures. So anybody who has in any way been excited about saga-y, Viking-y, Norse myth on on the tabletop has probably checked out the Ragnarok Miniature stuff in the past. These are sculpts by Colin Patton, who's done loads of different Kickstarters. He's done Dverga, so he's done his Dark Dwarves. He's done a variety of different Vikings, as if they were fighting in Valhalla, and also on the material plane as well. He's also done Draugr, I believe,
I have those.
which you've got, Lloyd. And also goblins and everything else in between. But the most recent of the Kickstarters was for these trolls. So these sort of like tiny yacht now.
Can that image at the bottom? Oh, there we go. Yes. Big that.
Yes. There you go.
For me, these are just perfect. Oh.
They're amazing. Yeah, they're really great. And what's really nice about them is I like that Colin did different varieties of trolls. So you've got the ones like the fellow in the middle and obviously the guy on the right and that kind of thing that are done in a very kind of classic Nordic version of a troll. So if you've seen like Troll Hunter and things like that, you've got that vibe going on with those miniatures. But then amongst them, you've also got the unarmored versions and the armored versions, which are a little bit more fantastical, a little bit more Tolkien-esque in a way. And you've got sort of like as I like to dub them, the orc version and the goblin version. So the one that would probably be following the orcs into battle, and then the one that would be sneaking around in caves, ready to stab a hobbit in a tomb or something like that at the same time.
And Norse ones would be great for smashing gnomes.
Yes. Punting gnomes off mountains. My favorite, I think, are the Norse, the kind of classic Norse ones. Although if you open that image there, John,
I think these are great for Lord of the Rings too.
they're amazing for Lord of the Rings, in so much as Patton has also been inspired very much by classic artwork. So you know how we were looking at the artwork for the front cover of the Orc Horde box and how that kind of gave off Angus MacBride classic fantasy art vibes. That fellow at the front with the hammer and the shield is actually based off a piece of artwork by MacBride that is set within kind of like Middle Earth as well. So it's kind of been themed to fit that, which is quite nice.
There's something like, maybe they're a bit big, I don't know, but if you're like the 10 mil orc army, you could throw something like this in for a mega big giant.
You could, yeah, easily.
Literally a Jotnar in the middle of it.
A Jotnar, yeah, very true. But it's a really nice selection of stuff. All of them can be picked up individually. I also liked that clearly Colin has gone through and named all of his trolls. So in classic sort of retro Warhammer style, everything has a name. So if you want Bolu, you can buy Bolu.
Every one of them?
Every one of them has a name. So that big image at the bottom is just a big family photo. So yeah. But really nice stuff there for people who want to obviously play Lord of the Rings style stuff, Saga, and pretty much anything else in between, to be honest, as well. Definitely worth checking those out if you missed out on the Kickstarter for that. And Colin doesn't rest, and I would assume there's going to be even more Ragnarok stuff in the future that I'm going to get obsessed by. So, yes, very cool. And it's nice to see that he's found a home with Gripping Beast, so he can just get on with the business of sculpting without having to deal with all the business side of things.
You can even just use regular 28mm little regular-sized dudes from...
Yeah.
What did we call it again? Warhost? Yeah, Warhost.
Yes.
The Warhost range is giants.
Yeah, and they've got a...
they got a similar look.
Is very Tolkien-esque as well. Yeah, it's very, very much inspired by the classic Silmarillion stories and things.
Oh man, totally going to do that.
There you go. Lloyd's been sold on Warhost then. Until Andy comes out with Warhost 2nd edition.
So, that's what you get for waiting 4 years before you actually buy in on a game.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. At least the timescale is longer than Games Workshop, but there we go. Finishing things off, we have something else from the realms of fantasy that would be pretty awesome to dive into, but this one comes in at a slightly smaller scale. So this is 15 mil stuff, and this is coming from Mace Face Miniatures.
15 mil? Too big.
It's not too big. It's the perfect size.
We all want smaller these days.
Yeah, but you're obsessed with 13.5, so you're weird.
The best of scale.
But yes, so the Savage Tribes come from Mace, which is an amazing name for a company anyway. These follow on from, if you remember, they did Shield Maidens last year, which are an absolutely stunning range of sculpts. These give you a selection of barbarian warriors that you could throw into your games. As I've said at the beginning of the show, and also when we talk about the Indie of the Week, quite obsessed with barbarians at the moment. And these would be very good for representing the Azir and the Vanir if you were going to be playing some Conan games.
Wish.
They're amazing. They're so well detailed from the guys at Mace. They're doing really nice stuff for North Star, but also for Eureka as well.
Are these actually 15 mil or
They're
slightly
50 mil.
bigger?
They're 15 mil, yeah. 15 mil boys.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, if they were made 28 mil, they would just look like cartoonized kind of barbarian.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. What kind of
Stylized.
So there are two variants for you to pick up from. So there's the command set, and then there's also the tribesman set.
Now they look 15 mil.
Now they look. This is what they look like. This is the thing you get on the box where it's like
the true scale.
True scale. Yeah. So you've got different options on that front as well. I will say that what's quite nice about these is that they've actually been designed so they match well with the 15 mil Barbarica range by Copplestone. So if you like Mark Copplestone's work, this is a great set that you could use alongside that, and sort of
just go back to the big image, John.
So
because I think the Wii images are just variants of these big images.
They are pretty much, yeah. It's essentially breaking down the two sets into individual ones, as you can see here.
Zoom out so we can see it as all as a group there, John. There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
But it's good. So a perfect opportunity for you to play 15 mil skirmish games if you wanted to go down that route, obviously.
I like the idea of playing 15 mil skirmish games.
Yeah.
Just taking the whole skirmish thing and just saying, look, just scale it down.
Just scale it down, play it on a 2x2 board. Yeah, have some fun. Great set. As I say, mix between the command set and the tribesman there, so you've got a couple of different options for you to choose from.
That's
and
it.
I'll drop the Copplestone castings link into the show notes as well, so you can go and check out some of the barbarians. That they have.
Really? With this for Russia, you're treating us too well.
Oh, ambassador,
spoiling us.
But there we go. That is everything for the news this week. Plenty of things for you to get your chops around. We're going to be finishing off the show, though, with a little bit of 3D printing.
Yeah!
So to round out the show, I thought I'd dive into the world of 3D printing, which has excited Lloyd to no end.
Yeah.
And we're going to be looking at some awesome stuff from the ever-expanding collection that's done by Anvil Industry. So these folks have been around for a really long time. A lot of people will remember them as doing a lot of stuff in resin, like 5-10 years ago. Ooh. They did a really great selection of kind of like near future troops and stuff you use in the tabletop, as well as an excellent like miniatures game that was all about like breaching and clearing, which I think has just sort of vanished from the ether. But over the last couple of years, one of the things that has really developed over the period has been what you can see here, which is the Digital Forge. So what the Digital Forge is essentially a repository of bits and accessories as well as full miniatures for you to and it kind of allows you to build up like full squads of infantry for you to use in your sci-fi games and everything else in between, but also individual components so that you can kit bash your way through stuff at the same time. I love that you just
I think I might have to buy
to a vehicle and a tank.
What do you think, John? Can we Krieg this?
Anything could be Krieged.
Everything can be Krieged, yeah.
Yeah.
I like
just stick a horse on it. No.
I like that a lot.
I like that too.
Yeah. Gun emplacements. Well, there you go. He's got a gas mask. He's basically halfway there.
Yeah.
So, so the Digital Forge has been around, I think, longer than the likes of My Mini Factory and things like that. And essentially, as you can see here, it gives you all the bits and bobs you can use to build your own troops on the tabletop. And because everything's been done in the same style, so you have that kind of separation between legs and bodies, heads and arms, and all that kind of stuff, it allows you to dive in and build some really cool and interesting troops for use on the tabletop to create very unique armies, which I think is very cool. A lot of the stuff here, I know people have picked up to effectively build up cool Imperial Guard style armies and playing, variant regiments and everything else in between. But there's just endless amounts of just stuff for you to pick up from this. Like, I was scrolling down this as I was writing up the show notes to what we're going to talk about, blah, 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 and I was like, okay, well, no, okay, the page keeps going. It keeps going.
The big green beastie thing. Oh.
It's like a dreadnought, but not. I love it. It's great. But yeah, there's like super soldiers, there's aliens, there's everything that would cross like all the variants of fantasy. So you've got some like diesel punk stuff in there.
The light mech thing, John. The light mech thing.
There's a light assault mech that's got the kind of what's that video game?
Titanfall
vibes. Absolutely love that. And everything else. And one of the other things that I quite like is that there's just so much terrain as well in there as well, which is brilliant. So if you're building up stuff for the tabletop that you want to suit the aesthetic of your armies, you also have that option as well at the same time. Should we dive into some of those tabs and look at them a little bit closer?
Just a minute. Okay, so
are you actually now doing some shopping?
I am actually now doing some shopping.
Yeah. Look at that.
Beastie.
That is very cool. As I said, like diesel punk as well, so it's not necessarily just sci-fi. You could have that against, BJ Blazkowicz, fighting his way through hordes of Nazis or something on the tabletop in a pulpy game, which I think is really cool. Amazing stuff. And all the different variants for weapons on there as well, too, which is quite cool.
You could have it against your Robocop mini, too.
You could have it against Robocop. You could add some skulls and everything to it and throw it into AdMech if you really want to make it that.
No skulls.
Skulls on our uniforms.
Skulls are bad.
What do you think they are, the baddies or something?
I mean, those are awesome. I love them. Kind of like again, diesel punky, which is quite nice.
I love
the weapon options.
The open cockpit on that one. Yeah,
that's nice. Yeah, sort of like a recon vehicle. I think it was quite cool. And I always like it when you get
Titanfall.
I like it when you get that. The heads that are kind of like a camera on like a swivel, like that kind of thing. Yeah. I love that as a sort of like characterful addition to a mech or something. It's a really nice bonus. I think
you can have an open version. That's cool.
Yeah, I think you could do a game just using them. I think that'd be really
Titanfall the game.
You just play Titanfall the game, yeah.
Use Halo rules.
You use the Halo rules, yeah.
Couldn't you?
Or, maybe.
Or
use Grimdark Future and use their skirmish version and just make up some cool stuff.
Need a way of wall running though.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Make a dexterity check. Your mech has fallen over.
Damn Apex Legends. I wish Apex Legends would just go and die.
So they can bring out Titanfall 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Gone too soon. Man,
Titanfall 2's multiplayer was freaking awesome.
Oh, and the campaign. Oh,
and the campaign. Yeah.
Until everybody started arse diving or whatever the heck it's called. Duck diving or duck jumping. I can't remember what it's called. They were just sliding around on their butts and jumping all over the place.
Oh, that's too much tech for me. I don't do that.
This is nice terrain, by the way.
It is very nice terrain. So if you are going to be playing that Breach and Clear game that I'm fairly sure has vanished, that would be really good for that. But also, boarding actions, Space Hulk, an alien-based game.
What price is this? Do you buy it as a 3D file, I guess?
So they're STL files, yeah. So you just buy them and print off as much as you want, to be honest.
15 quid for like a whole set of stuff, is it?
A whole set of stuff, yeah.
Oh, there's the walls down there, John. Click scroll down. Oh,
there you go. So those are the components that you just print en masse.
Oh, so you get that and just build what you want.
What you want. It's like Lego. So
it's very nice.
It is very nice. But yes, I thought this would be an interesting one to dive into because we looked at
the last tab, John. The last tab.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We looked at Anvil Industry back when they did one of their Kickstarter campaigns, I think it was, where it was a game found, and they were doing essentially just a set of stuff. It was based around, I think it was like Space Cops, I think it was. But as I say, all of it eventually ends up on the digital foundry, as you can see here as well.
Just keeps going.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
I told you, they've been doing this for a long time.
I recently bought some cyberpunk style miniatures, and I probably should have been looking in here as well.
Yeah. Can we see that tank, John?
Which tank?
That one,
That
right
one.
there.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that in a minute.
I remember the name of their game, by the way. It was called Afterlife. It was so good. It was so cool. I have all their troops somewhere in a box. So I can attest to the quality of at least their 10-year-old resin miniatures. So.
Oh.
I mean, how cool are those? And this is the other thing that's really nice about this. So this is the other thing that they've developed with their kits is the multi-shell format. So you can just get them as body, leg, head, etc. But they've made each individual component on the body, the gun, etc. available to just delete or remove or move around. So you can actually add as much gribbly as you want on or take it off if you prefer. And also play around with the placement of it all and that kind of thing as well. So as you can see in the image too, you can almost have heads that have beards and hair, or you can take the beard off, you can take the hair off and everything else in between. So it gives you loads of really intricate detail to play around with to really personalize your troops. And it's like another kind of like bonus, I suppose you'd say, to the idea of like what they're presenting as part of the Digital Forge. So it's very cool. Oh my God. These were the two factions. Oh my God, it was the Unity and something else. Unity and the Corporation? Was that what it was called? Oh my God. Help me.
And this game had rules.
It had rules. It was really cool. I'm fairly sure we played it on the channel. or we played it at an event and they told us about the rules and how it worked, I think it was. But the whole idea of the game was it was a breach and clear style affair. So it was all about blasting into rooms and like taking out people in buildings and things like that. It was really nice. Really nice.
It was really nice.
It was really nice. I mean, those are excellent for kind of like space cops or like a set of judges or something.
Cyberpunk law enforcement.
Cyberpunk, yeah. Oh God, yeah. Color it all in chrome and away you go.
Did you guys ever play a game called Syndicate on the Amiga?
Syndicate on the Amiga? No, I didn't. No.
These guys with the long coats have that sort of look to them.
I'm too old for that, Lloyd.
What?
I was talking to
What's that look like when it's put together?
It looks like a Simovet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. You were talking to someone what, Ben?
It's okay. The joke is gone now.
Oh.
You've ruined my joke. I mean, he's having a whale of a time.
I mean, he's definitely French stroke Italian.
He is, yes.
That's Italian.
That's what happens after turn one.
Crap armor, crap gun.
That's the best fate could do.
Yeah. But yeah.
What do the Japanese and the Italians have in common? Crap tanks.
There you go. Yeah.
Quite
Island. Right. No.
What is this last tab you're teasing us with, John?
I'm not teasing you with anything.
Yes.
It's there. Leave it alone.
The Anvil Industry Digital Forge.
Oh, we got to the end.
Is absolutely packed with stuff. They have years and years and years of digital files.
Oh, look at that weird cannon thing.
This one.
This segment will never end.
It will eventually. It will when I get tired of it.
Look at that weird droid things. Look. What's that with the little crawler thing?
Where?
See,
right there beside your mouse. Just move. Warmer, colder, warmer. Hot. Scalding.
This is why this is such a good deep delve for you to come and check out for yourself.
Oh, they're like Jawas.
It's like Jawas, yeah. And little droids and shiz. Like, because there is just so many little nuggets of awesomeness in here. And the fact that you can just play around with all of these files and just take off what you don't want and what you do and add on things that you do.
Bring out your dad.
Makes them an excellent... Oh, I love that there's a Red Dwarf droid in there. That's great. Crichton. There's a Crichton in there, which is great. Anyway, yes. The Anvil Digital Forge, absolutely loads of bits and pieces for you to check out and pick up. Even if you don't explore the Digital Forge, they also have a Patreon. So if you want to get stuff month by month, based on the packs and things that they're working on, you can do that. And obviously that comes with a little bit of a discount if you go through the Patreon. But essentially everything via their Kickstarters, via Patreon, and everything else in between will all end up on the Digital Forge at some point. And if you don't like the idea of actually doing the 3D printing, if that's not your bag, then you can actually get a lot of the stuff as resin miniatures anyway. So you can have it all just printed off for you and sent to you. And they do slowly work through turning all of their stuff into physical prints eventually. So it's definitely worth having a look at what they have to offer if you want to have some alternatives for 40k and every other game that might exist out there in the sci-fi genre and all of its subgenres as well. So yes, definitely worth checking out.
Right, John, come on, you're being cruel now. Oh, okay. Ta-da!
I just thought I'd leave it open. Just to
Ta-da! Ta-da! Ta-da!
So there we go. That is this week's show. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Lloyd, I think. Thank you, John. And thank you, folks, for watching. As a reminder, if you comment on this show here on YouTube or over on Tabletop, you'll be able to get a chance of winning that £50 voucher from the folks at Wayland Games. Maybe you put it towards a pre-order of one of those Gundam card game sets. You can get yourself set up for later in the summer. But apart from that, make sure to come back next week and join us for another weekender when Jerry will return and some sanity will probably come back to the show.
Yeah, someone who knows how to use the buttons.
But if you want more of our waffling, then you can come and join us over on the OnTableTop website on Sunday for the Cult of Games XLBS, where you can sit down with myself, John, and Warren, where we ramble on about passions.
Well, where Warren rambles about passions, and we actually had another subject we were going to talk about, and it didn't happen.
We didn't get to that. But anyway, if you like waffling, come over and check that out and see what we have to say. You can do that with a subscription, or you can do it with a free trial if you just want to try out the site. But yes, I think we'll end it there, and we'll be back next week. So again, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Toodles!
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.